Ladies, let me tell you something fascinating about attraction. It's not about the woman who bends over backward to impress. It's not about the one who sacrifices her authenticity just to be chosen. Men are deeply, irresistibly drawn to women who don't try too hard, the kind of woman who radiates self-worth without needing validation. Think about it. When you meet someone who is effortlessly themselves, it's magnetic. They're not over-explaining, they're not over-giving, and they're not chasing. Instead, they carry an air of quiet confidence, and that's exactly what pulls men in. Because the truth is, men don't want perfection, they want presence. They don't want desperation, they want authenticity. The woman who doesn't try too hard isn't cold or detached. She's simply aligned with herself. She knows her value isn't determined by someone else's approval. She enjoys giving love, but she doesn't beg for it. She embraces her quirks, her boundaries, her voice. And because she honors herself, others naturally respect and cherish her. That's the secret, not chasing, not overcompensating, not proving. Attraction lives in the space where you are already whole, already enough. And when a man senses that he's not just interested, he's invested. When a woman walks into a room with confidence, she doesn't need to announce it. People simply feel it. True confidence is quiet but powerful. It doesn't scream for attention, it commands it naturally. Men are drawn to women who hold themselves with ease because it shows that she doesn't need anyone else to complete her. That effortless energy communicates, I'm already enough, and it's magnetic. Confidence isn't about being the loudest voice or trying to dominate a space. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. A confident woman doesn't fidget with her words or wonder if she said the right thing. She knows her worth, and that calm assurance makes people, especially men, want to be around her. It's not the kind of energy that asks, "Do you like me?" but rather the kind that says, "This is who I am and I'm proud of it." What men find irresistible is the absence of neediness. A woman who tries too hard often gives off the impression that she's seeking approval. But a woman who is confident doesn't chase for validation, and that very independence sparks desire. She's not afraid to share her opinion, she's not afraid of silence, and she's not afraid to let things flow naturally. That relaxed vibe makes her incredibly attractive because it feels authentic. Think about it, people naturally lean toward those who make them feel safe and secure. Confidence does exactly that. When a woman trusts herself, a man can trust her too. He feels that he doesn't need to play guessing games because she's steady and sure of who she is. That creates an emotional anchor. And men instinctively crave that kind of grounding presence. The beauty of effortless confidence is that it isn't about perfection. In fact, it's the opposite. A confident woman is okay with making mistakes, laughing at herself, and owning her imperfections. She doesn't overcompensate or apologize for existing. That lightness makes her relatable, and relatability is one of the strongest forms of attraction. It shows she's human, but it also shows she's strong enough to embrace every part of herself. Ultimately, what sets her apart is not the effort she puts into being noticed, but the calm assurance that she doesn't have to try. She doesn't run after attention. Attention naturally comes to her. Her confidence speaks louder than any words could. And without forcing anything, she becomes the woman everyone wants to know, and the woman men can't stop thinking about. There is something captivating about a woman who knows how to simply be in the moment. When she's present, she isn't distracted by trying to impress or constantly worrying about how she's being perceived. Instead, she's fully engaged, listening, responding, laughing, and living in real time. That level of attentiveness is rare, and it makes men feel valued. Presence creates connection, and connection is the foundation of true attraction. A woman who embodies presence doesn't need to play games or put on a performance. She doesn't need to craft the perfect version of herself because her attention is her greatest gift. Men are instinctively drawn to women who make them feel seen. And that happens when she's truly there, not scrolling through her phone, not zoning out, not pretending. Her energy communicates, I'm with you right now, and that is deeply alluring. presence also carries a quiet confidence. A woman who is fully present doesn't feel the need to overthink what comes next. She trusts the flow of conversation, trusts her own instincts, and lets things unfold naturally. This relaxed energy is incredibly attractive because it shows she's not trying to control the outcome. She's living in the moment, and that makes the interaction feel effortless rather than pressured. Men often describe women like this as easy to be around. It's not because she lacks depth or passion. It's because her presence creates a sense of ease. When a woman is genuinely invested in the moment, she gives off warmth and openness, which makes the man feel comfortable too. That kind of atmosphere makes him want to stay longer, talk more, and invest more deeply in her. What's powerful about presence is that it leaves a lasting impression. Long after a conversation ends, a man remembers how he felt around her. Did she make him feel important? Did she make him feel like he mattered? Presence has that effect. It lingers in memory because it's rare in a world where people are often half distracted, half engaged. A woman who can give her undivided energy stands out in the best possible way. Ultimately, presence is a form of authenticity. It's saying, I don't need to be anywhere else right now. I choose to be here. That sense of groundedness is irresistible. It tells a man that she's not trying hard to be someone she's not. She's simply being herself fully and unapologetically. And that genuine energy is one of the most powerful forces of attraction she can ever bring into a relationship. One of the most magnetic qualities a woman can have is understanding the power of her time and energy. When she doesn't give it away freely to anyone who demands it, she naturally becomes more valuable. Men are deeply attracted to a woman who doesn't make herself constantly available, because it shows she respects her own boundaries and prioritizes her own life. Scarcity creates intrigue. It makes a man lean in, wanting to know more. Think about it, anything we see everywhere, all the time, we tend to take for granted. But when something feels rare, it becomes special. The same principle applies in relationships. A woman who tries too hard, who is always available, who bends her schedule endlessly for a man, unknowingly sends the message that her time has no value. But when a woman is selective, when she chooses carefully where and with whom she invests her energy, she instantly commands respect. This doesn't mean playing hard to get in a manipulative way. It's not about games. It's about genuinely having a rich, full life that doesn't revolve around someone else. Men are drawn to women who have passions, goals, friends, and routines that are important to them. When her world doesn't stop just because someone enters it, she communicates that she is whole on her own, and that makes her presence even more desirable. Scarcity also creates excitement. When a man knows he doesn't have unlimited access, he cherishes the moments he does get. He values the text replies, the phone calls, the time together, because it's not something he can take lightly. A woman who doesn't try too hard reminds him that she is a gift, not a guarantee. That subtle difference can completely shift how he treats her. Men are wired to pursue what feels valuable. If something is handed to them with no effort, it loses its magic quickly. But when a woman shows she isn't desperate for attention, that she's not begging for validation, he feels a healthy challenge. And that challenge isn't frustrating, it's exciting. It stirs a sense of admiration and respect, making him want to step up and win her attention instead of assuming he already has it. The beauty of scarcity is that it keeps balance in the dynamic. It reminds both people that love should be mutual, not one-sided. When a woman honors her time and doesn't overextend herself, she naturally attracts men who respect her more deeply. She doesn't have to force value. She simply lives in a way that demonstrates it, and that quiet power makes her unforgettable. When it comes to attraction, words are important, but energy always speaks first. Before you even say a single sentence, people can feel your vibe. The way you carry yourself, the calmness or tension you project, even the way you enter a room, it all communicates something. Men are especially tuned into this because they often pick up on a woman's energy faster than her words. If your presence feels light, confident, and authentic, that will draw him in far more than any clever phrase ever could. A woman who tries too hard often gives off an energy of restlessness or neediness. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, she may laugh too loudly at things that aren't funny, agree with everything he says, or constantly seek reassurance. The words might sound fine, but the underlying energy says, please like me. That energy pushes people away because it doesn't feel grounded. By contrast, a woman who is relaxed in her own skin radiates calm assurance, and that unspoken confidence becomes magnetic. Men often describe attraction not in terms of what a woman said, but how she made them feel. That feeling doesn't come from rehearsed lines or perfect answers. It comes from energy. Did she make him feel at ease? Did her presence lift the mood in the room? Did her laughter feel genuine instead of forced? Those subtle cues are what truly matter, and they're impossible to fake. Energy reveals the truth every single time. What makes this even more powerful is that positive energy is contagious. When a woman carries herself with warmth and authenticity, the man she's with feels more comfortable being himself too. He loosens up, he enjoys the moment, and he associates those good feelings with her. Suddenly, he's not just interested in her. He craves more of that experience, more of that energy. That's how real attraction deepens. On the flip side, negative or desperate energy can drain a connection instantly. If a woman is constantly on edge, overly critical, or clearly trying too hard to be accepted, the interaction feels heavy. Men instinctively pull away from that because it creates pressure rather than connection. This is why managing your inner state is so important. The energy you project will always shape how others respond to you. The beauty of energy is that it doesn't require effort. You don't have to do anything dramatic to attract. You just have to be aligned with yourself. When you're authentic, comfortable, and grounded, your energy naturally sends the message that you're someone worth knowing. That invisible signal speaks louder than anything you could try to say or prove, and it's the reason men feel drawn to you without even knowing why. One of the most powerful signals a woman can send to a man is through her boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're a reflection of self-respect. A woman who knows what she stands for and what she will or will not tolerate communicates instantly that she values herself. Men find this deeply attractive because it shows strength, clarity, and confidence. It tells him she won't just accept anything. She has standards, and anyone who wants to be in her life must rise to meet them. Boundaries also create respect in relationships. When a woman says no to something that doesn't serve her, she isn't being difficult. She's being authentic. Men admire women who can stand firm without guilt because it demonstrates emotional maturity. A woman who says yes to everything often loses her identity in the process, while the one who honors her limits keeps her sense of self intact. That kind of self-possession is magnetic. The truth is, boundaries don't push good men away. They attract them. A man who is serious about building something meaningful will naturally respect a woman who respects herself. Boundaries act as a filter, keeping out the wrong kind of attention and drawing in the right kind. It's not about being guarded, it's about being intentional. Men who are worth her time will see those boundaries not as obstacles, but as proof of her value. There's also a sense of mystery and depth that comes with boundaries. A woman who doesn't immediately give unlimited access to her time, her body, or her emotions creates anticipation. Men appreciate the process of earning trust and closeness, and boundaries make that process real. Without them, things feel too easy, too instant, and often lose excitement. Boundaries keep the connection dynamic, meaningful, and worth investing in. Boundaries are also tied to emotional safety. A woman who protects her space and energy makes a man feel secure too, because he knows where she stands. Uncertainty often creates anxiety in relationships, but boundaries create clarity. They show him exactly how to respect her, and in turn, they inspire him to show up in a more honorable way. That kind of balance creates a foundation for deeper attraction and connection. Ultimately, boundaries are proof of self-love. A woman who knows her worth doesn't fear losing someone by standing firm, because she understands that losing herself would be far worse. That quiet confidence radiates, and it's impossible for men not to notice. She doesn't have to shout or explain endlessly. Her actions show it clearly. And in that strength, she becomes someone unforgettable, someone a man can't help but admire. Many women feel pressured to look flawless, speak flawlessly, and act flawlessly in order to be admired. But the truth is, perfection isn't what creates attraction. Authenticity does. Men are far more drawn to a woman who is real, genuine, and unapologetically herself than to someone who's constantly trying to maintain an impossible image. Perfection might impress at first glance, but it doesn't create a lasting connection. Authenticity, on the other hand, is unforgettable. When a woman is authentic, she allows her true personality to shine. She laughs when something is funny, even if her laugh is a little quirky. She shares her thoughts honestly instead of saying what she thinks others want to hear. She doesn't need to cover up every little imperfection or mistake because she knows that vulnerability makes her relatable. Men are captivated by that realness. It makes them feel like they're connecting with a person, not a performance. Trying too hard to be perfect often backfires. It creates pressure, tension, and a sense of distance. A man might admire the polished image, but he won't feel emotionally safe if he senses that she's hiding her true self. Authenticity creates ease in interactions. When she's herself, he feels like he can be himself too. And that mutual comfort is what builds trust, closeness, and attraction. Authenticity also communicates confidence. A woman who embraces her flaws without shame shows that she doesn't need validation to feel worthy. She's not editing herself to gain approval. She's letting the world see her as she is. That kind of honesty radiates strength, and men find it incredibly magnetic. It says, I know I'm not perfect, but I don't need to be. I'm enough exactly as I am. What makes authenticity so powerful is that it sets her apart. In a world where so many people are trying to impress with filters, fake personas, and carefully crafted images, the woman who dares to be real stands out instantly. She doesn't blend in with the crowd. She shines without even trying. And that effortless uniqueness is something men deeply appreciate because it's so rare to find. At the end of the day, men don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with the woman who makes them feel alive, accepted, and inspired. Authenticity allows that connection to happen naturally. It's not about putting on a show. It's about showing up as yourself. And when a man experiences that he's drawn to her in a way that no level of perfection could ever achieve, falling in love is one of the most beautiful experiences. But it can also be where many women make a mistake. They forget themselves in the process. They pour so much into the relationship that they end up abandoning their own needs, dreams, and identity. At first, it may feel like devotion, but over time, it creates imbalance. What truly attracts a man is a woman who can give love generously while still holding on to who she is. A woman who doesn't lose herself in love shows that she values both connection and individuality. She knows how to nurture the bond, but she doesn't let it consume every corner of her life. Men admire this balance because it shows strength and independence. When he sees that she can love fully and still maintain her passions, friendships, and goals, it reassures him that she's whole on her own. That kind of wholeness is magnetic. The truth is, love doesn't require sacrifice of self. It thrives when both people bring their full selves into the relationship. A woman who tries too hard to mold herself around a man's life often loses her spark. But when she continues to honor her own voice, her own hobbies, and her own dreams, she keeps that spark alive. Men are drawn to women who shine in their individuality because it keeps the relationship exciting and dynamic. There's also a deep respect that comes when a woman doesn't lose herself in love. It tells a man that while she cares for him deeply, she won't compromise her identity to keep him. That quiet assurance challenges him to meet her at her level, rather than take her for granted. Instead of smothering him with dependence, she inspires him by standing strong in her own light. That balance builds admiration, not just attraction. A woman who loves without losing herself also creates emotional safety. She isn't constantly clinging, demanding, or fearful of abandonment. because she knows she has a life and identity outside of the relationship. That independence makes the love feel free rather than heavy, and men find that incredibly attractive. It allows both people to breathe, to grow, and to choose each other, not out of desperation, but out of genuine desire. At the core, loving without losing yourself is about balance. It's giving affection and support while still protecting your individuality. It's saying, I choose to share my life with you, but I still have a life of my own. That mindset doesn't diminish love, it strengthens it. Because when a man sees that a woman loves him deeply and still loves herself, he can't help but admire her, respect her, and want to hold on to her even more. One of the most attractive qualities a woman can possess is the quiet, unwavering belief that she is already enough. She doesn't seek constant validation. She doesn't bend herself to meet someone else's expectations, and she doesn't chase approval to feel worthy. That inner sense of completeness radiates effortlessly, and men are instinctively drawn to it because it signals confidence, stability, and self-respect. Being enough already means a woman doesn't rely on a man to define her value. She has a life full of passions, purpose, and friendships. She knows her strengths, she acknowledges her flaws, and she embraces both without shame. That kind of self-awareness creates a magnetic energy. Men are attracted not just to her beauty or charm, but to the sense of wholeness she carries. It's as if she's saying, I'm here fully as myself, and you get to choose to be part of it. When a woman embodies being enough, she doesn't overcompensate in relationships. She doesn't over-text, over-explain, or over-give in an attempt to be loved or accepted. Instead, she shows up with authenticity and clarity. That restraint is powerful because it communicates that her love and attention are precious, not guaranteed. Men sense this immediately, and it naturally elevates her presence in their eyes. Being enough also allows her to maintain her boundaries without guilt. She doesn't stay in situations that feel draining or compromising because she knows her worth. This self-respect creates a sense of security for both her and the man she's with. Men are drawn to women who hold this standard because it challenges them to be better, to step up, and to treat her with the respect she deserves. The most magnetic women don't constantly seek to fill a void within themselves through someone else. Instead, they attract men because they are complete, confident, and grounded. A man notices the difference immediately. She doesn't need him to feel whole, but she chooses to share her life with him. That choice, rather than neediness, is what keeps him intrigued, invested, and inspired to be a part of her world. Ultimately, being enough already is about living from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. It's about valuing yourself independently of anyone else's approval or attention. When a woman embodies this, she creates a natural pull that is hard to resist. Men aren't drawn to her because she's trying to impress them. They're drawn to her because she already carries everything she needs within herself. And that completeness is magnetic.